The Mate 40 Pro is here, and Huawei finally decided to increase its wired charging speed from 40 to 66 watts. But how does it stack up against some of the best smartphones on the planet? Well, the Mate 40 Pro comes paired with a 4,400 mAh battery, and you get that wonderful 66 watt charging brick in the box. The iPhone 12 comes with a brand new 20 watt charging block, though you have to buy it separately, and the smallest battery in this test. The Mi 10 Ultra jumps up the battery department and the wattage with 120 watts and a 4,500 mAh battery. Samsung sticking to the same 4,500 mAh battery as the Xiaomi, but a much smaller 25 watt block. And the OnePlus 8T comes with the same battery at 4,500 mAh to the Xiaomi and Samsung, but comes with an improved 65 watt charging brick in the box. I'm really excited to get this underway. This is TechNick, and without further ado, let's go. We're going to kickstart things off here by testing out the heat dissipation on all the smartphones over here. This is pretty much room temperature. We'll test this between each interval. As you can see below each branding, we have the interval and the peak, which is the max that it's hit. Time interval, top right hand corner, which is in relation to the percentage below the branding and above each phone. After just 6 minutes, 20% on the Huawei, 13 on the Apple, 33 on the Xiaomi, 11, which is lower than the Apple, is indeed the Samsung, and the OnePlus 8T with an impressive 25%. Max peak over here in terms of temperature is indeed the Huawei, and the coolest is the iPhone. After 10 minutes, 33% on the Huawei, 49% on the Xiaomi, 35% on the AT, all three leading the pack over here. I have made sure to turn all battery optimizations off. There is no battery optimization option on the Xiaomi. Very strange, that is. Nevertheless, we're reaching that 15-minute mark interval over here. 45% on the Mate 40 Pro, 31 on the Apple iPhone 12, 64 on the Xiaomi leading the pack, 28% on the Note 20 Ultra, and 49 on the AT, which is definitely a bit quicker than the Mate 40 Pro, though it has 1 watt less and a bigger battery. Very interesting. 55% on the Huawei after 20 minutes, 41 on the iPhone, smashing the Note 20 Ultra with a much bigger battery, however, at 37%, 81 on the Xiaomi, and 64 on the AT. Max peak temperature over here is awarded to the Xiaomi with 48.9 degrees in Celsius. We'll check that again after this interval. 25 minutes, 66% on the Mate 40 Pro, 94%, almost about to clock out on the Xiaomi, 77% on the OnePlus 8T, 51 on the iPhone 12, beating the last one here, which is indeed the Note 20 Ultra. And after just 30 minutes of charge, we get 100% on the Mi 10 Ultra, which is pretty impressive, with a max peak temperature over here with 48.9 degrees in Celsius. So it did indeed get quite hot, but it ended off with 44.3 degrees in Celsius. And after the 31-minute mark interval, 77% on the Huawei, 91% on the 8T, 53 on the Note 20 Ultra, still being beat by the iPhone 12 with 60%. We're reaching the 45-minute interval. Well, that is the next one that we'll hit, but focus on the OnePlus over here. Did just hit 100% after 37 minutes, exactly the same time reading that I got in my last test. And the Mi 10 Ultra actually did 150 mAh per minute as opposed to 122 on the OnePlus 8T. I have heard that Android Authority actually figured out that the Mi 10 Ultra only really peaks at 93 watts, not its advertised 120, and that is why it is so similar between the Mi 10 Ultra and the OnePlus 8T over here. And in the 45-minute mark, we have 95% on the Mate 40 Pro, and we have 78 on the iPhone 12. Below that is the Note 20 Ultra with 73%, and after 58 minutes, the Huawei Mate 40 Pro locks out over there with its 66 watt charger and 4,400 mAh battery. Not the biggest of the bunch over here, definitely not the fastest charging either. We'll have to give it a couple runs to see if this improves, but it's not really hitting that 40-minute advertised time point. But 76 mAh per minute is not the worst. It's still half that of the Mi 10 Ultra, which is a fraction of the price of the Mate 40 Pro. We hit that 1 hour mark interval with 88% on the iPhone 12, and after an hour and 15 minutes, the Note 20 Ultra knocks off at 100%, which is pretty great. The Note 20 Ultra was indeed hotter than the iPhone over there in the last interval, but the iPhone is sitting at 95% after an hour and 17 minutes. The Note 20 Ultra has a worse milliampere per minute reading of 60 compared to the 76 on the Huawei, making it the worst. Now, we'll get to the first 50% milliampere readings at the bottom of the screen at the end of the test. The iPhone 12 is now hitting 98% after an hour and 30 minutes. My last test, I got an hour and 37 minutes. Let's see if it can beat that or it can match that. We're getting to that interval now, 1 hour and 41 minutes. It finally decides to give up and say, okay, Nick, I'm gonna say that I'm 100%, even if I'm lying to you. 1 hour, 41 minutes for the iPhone 12's 20 watts, 2,815 mAh battery capacity, which is not terrible. I guess it's still kind of fast charging. And if we look at the first 50% milliampere readings over here, of course, the Xiaomi was the best with with 215, and the worst was indeed the iPhone with 59 milliamp hours per minute. Its first 50% didn't do too bad, but its first 80% dropped down to 46 milliamp hours, and its last 20% did a crazy 11 milliamp hours per minute. Fifth place over here, the iPhone 12 with its slightly improved 20-watt charging brick. Unfortunately, you have to purchase it separately. Smallest battery over here, worst time with 1 hour and 41 minutes. Not too impressive for Apple. Fourth place is indeed the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra with 1 hour and 15 minutes. Not much better than the iPhone, but a much bigger battery to boot, but it does indeed have slightly faster charging at 25 watts. 66 watt beast, the Huawei Mate 40 Pro didn't impress me as much as I would expect. 58 minutes over here for its 4,400 milliamp hour battery to knock off at 100%. Second place is the OnePlus 8T with an impressive 37 minutes, keeping consistent with my last test. 65 watt charging and a nice big 4,500 milliamp hour battery. First place, of course, is indeed the Mi 10 Ultra over here with 30 minutes, slightly quicker than my last test. 120 watt charging with a nice big 4,500 milliamp hour battery to boot. The Xiaomi did a hell of a lot better in its first 50% milliamp hour per minute reading than its entire charge. So did the iPhone 12 quite noticeably over there, pretty much double that. The Huawei Mate 40 Pro did very good in its first 50%, but it didn't peak out at the max temp here. That was awarded to the Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra with almost 49 degrees in Celsius. Though the Huawei was pretty close to that, I was really impressed that the OnePlus 8T kept a nice cool peak of 44.1 degrees in Celsius, triple the charging speed of the iPhone, but cooler peak temps over here. It still didn't finish cooler at the end, but that's thanks to the seriously slow Apple charging in its last 20%. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed watching this video as much as I did making it. A sub to the channel would really be appreciated. This is TechNick, and I'll see you in the next one.